Everyone. So in this video, I wanted to just kind of continue the last video in a little bit more detail and just kind of piggyback off of what I was talking about with the free resources. So I want to go a little bit more in detail about the benefits of the leaves, and these leaves are falling, and you don't want to let those resources go to waste. Okay, so we've got the leaves and also the coffee grounds. I want to talk about the benefits of those two things in particular when it comes to amending your beds with free resources. So let's get into it.
Autumn leaves are a rich source of organic matter and valuable trace minerals that trees mine from deep in the soil. Organic matter puts essential nutrients back in the soil, which in turn promotes healthy plant growth and an increase in the bacteria and microorganisms that help to transform those nutrients into forms that are available to your plants. Adding leaves to heavy soils improves aeration. In sandy soils, they can help retain moisture. Shredding leaves also makes a great weed suppressing mulch for your garden beds and your landscaped areas. Leaves that are chopped up into pieces are easier to convert into the compost. It's easier for the microbes to do the work of breaking down those leaves. And if you don't break them down, they usually become like matted together into like clumps, and it just takes a lot longer for them to break down. So once you have your supply of leaves, there are so many ways to use them. You can use them to insulate garlic. Like a 4 to 6 inch layer of shredded leaves would be great to apply as a mulch before the ground freezes, and that'll give time for the garlic to enter the winter dormancy, and it'll insulate it throughout the winter. Another way to use leaves is to make leaf mold. Over time, the shredded leaves naturally break down into a soft, finely textured substance called leaf mold. Leaf mold is high in calcium and magnesium and retains 3 to 5 times its weight in water. It can be added to potting soil, you can use it to top dress plants, or it can be used just as a super premium mulch. You want to add a little bit of nitrogen to the leaves before letting them sit for the winter, and that'll speed up the process. So maybe a few grass clippings, or like I said, maybe some coffee grounds added to the bags would speed up the process, and you'll have a nice, rich, um, almost like a soil by the time they're done decomposing. And believe me, it doesn't take any time at all. From the time from fall to spring, they will be nicely broken down. Okay, let's talk coffee grounds. So many people feel that coffee grounds lower the pH or raise the acid level of your soil, which is good for acid loving plants, but this is only true for unwashed coffee grounds. Fresh coffee grounds are acidic, but used coffee grounds are neutral. And if you rinse your used coffee grounds, they will have a near neutral pH of about 6.5, and they will not affect the acid levels of the soil. So you can get your used coffee grounds from home, or you can go to your local coffee house and you can get bags of used coffee if you just contact them and have them set them aside. You can get bags of used coffee grounds for no charge at all. They will put them aside for you and you can pick them up daily, and they will benefit your garden instead of going into the landfill. So, another great thing about coffee grounds is that worms love coffee grounds. It helps aid in their digestion because they have gizzards, much like chickens do. So they need that grit in order to help with the digestion process, and it breaks down the materials more quickly. Okay, grass clippings. Grass clippings are an amazing benefit to your garden. It's a nitrogen source, so it's considered a green, and you need greens and browns in order to create a balanced compost. So your greens and your browns work together to decompose. Your greens are your nitrogen source and your browns are your carbon source. When you add carbon to your soil, it promotes the growth of the beneficial bacteria, which increases the likelihood of hardy plants. Not to mention, it makes a great mulch. So guys, in essence, the moral of the video is to talk about how you can use the free resources available to you to amend your soil. And basically that's using organic matter. It helps the soil to hold important nutrients for your plants. You can successfully increase the fertility of your soil and the quality of your soil by regularly adding organic matter. So every fall, make sure you are adding all that good organic matter, those grass clippings, those fallen leaves. Collect those coffee grounds, whatever else you might have that you can add to it. Create your own compost piles. But even if you can't create a compost pile, like I said, you can bury kitchen scraps in your beds, in your soil. Granted that you make sure that you're not burying seeds because those seeds will sprout. But things like watermelon rinds and eggshells. Now, eggshells will take a long time to break down, but if you crunch them up really fine into like a powder, they will be readily available sooner. So just do your own research. There are so many things that you could be using to increase the fertility of your soil by just using free resources that are available to you. Shredded paper, newspaper, paper bags. Paper is a great source of carbon, okay? Food scraps are a great source of nitrogen. You don't need a whole lot of things. If you have a nitrogen source and a carbon source and some moisture, you will be good to go. But for the sake of the length of the video, I'm going to end it here. I could go on and on about organic matter, but I just wanted to get that information out there for you guys so that you have something to think about while it's this time of year and you can be collecting all those wonderful, nutritious leaves. And even if you can't use them all now, save them. Save them for the springtime when you need to mulch and when you need to do some weed suppressing. You'll have that great source of nutrients in organic matter put aside for later. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I am so glad that you joined me. I hope that you got something out of it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and until next time, the more you know, the more you grow. Bye, guys.